Hi, so hello YouTube, Foster Daddy here, and this is my dresser, or chest of drawers, whichever you want to call it, that I've had in my kitten room, and this is part of my makeover series, and so I want to get to at least attempt something I've never done before, so I'm going to refinish, paint, and stain this bad boy. Man, I've had this thing for probably 30 years. I'm pretty sure it was free when I first got it. So it's not costing me anything other than just the paint and supplies and my time. I've watched a ton of tutorials, and there's tons of furniture flipping websites. One, Black Sheep, I think it was called, was real good. Can't remember the other ones, but I'll put some links in my description of some of the ones that were most helpful. So I'm going to be refinishing this, and this little piece here, it's called a dough box or a dough proofing box. It's been in my family for generations. I remember when I was a little tiny kid, and I lost my mom a little over 2 years ago, and so I definitely am keeping this because she had it forever. Her grandfather, my great-grandfather, actually made this by hand, so it's definitely staying in the family for sure. So I hadn't decided. I may sand it down all the way to the wood just to see how far I have to go to get to wood and restain it. I've got a couple of different varieties of gray stain. Gray is sort of the color palette in my foster room, so my new color palette anyway. So I don't know, I may end up sanding it, priming it, painting it. I'm sure my mother would roll over in her grave. She never liked anything painted. Hello, Poppy. You come to help? You coming to help, baby? That is my sassy calico, Poppy. She loves to be outside. I only let her go out when I can watch her. But anyway, so and those drawers there are from the end table in my bedroom, and I'm going to be refinishing that. Most likely just paint, no stain on that. Sand it, paint it. Hey, Poppy, come to help? Come to help make a mess. Got all the drawers out. Set me up a little table there. And where's my bottle of TSP? It's in the bathroom. Mix me up a gallon of TSP, and that's the end table with the drawers back in it, and it has been vacuumed out and washed down, and Poppy's helping. These are the drawers that I'm left to clean. I got a couple of 2 or 3 more here left to clean, but so coming along. I did find one thing. I am not sure whether this front piece here, is this actually wood or not. It looks like it on the inside. I mean, that looks like wood to me. That's wood. This looks like wood, this here with the 11 on it. But then you turn it up and look at the bottom, and that looks almost just like dust board, chip board, laminate board, whatever you want to call that stuff. So I don't know. So I guess I'll find out when I get the sander out what I'm working with here. So if I end up not staining them, I'm probably going to paint them the same color as I'm doing the walls, because this is going to be a really, really dark gray. Almost just a shade higher than black, really. I don't know what it's going to look like once it's applied and then, coated a couple of times in urethane. And I'm still working out what I'm going to do here. Fortunately, those holes can be filled and I can leave those trim pieces on there. I'm actually thinking about painting those trim pieces maybe the light color, and everything else would be dark. Alright, hello YouTube, Foster Daddy back at you. I'm down here in the garage, and I've gotten all of my pieces primed. Dresser or chest of drawers. That's going to be the end table, or is the end table. And of course, Poppy's down here doing quality control, helping me out. More like getting in the way and being a pain. But drawers, the fascia or fronts of the doors are all primed. Doors for the end table. I'm really happy with how the top of this came out. This was laminate press board with a laminate finish on it. And there's a couple of little rough spots, but most of this is just smooth as can be. So I'm just going to do a light sand coat of 220 grit sanding block, and she'll be ready to paint. I'm going to do the end table first, and wish me luck. We'll see how this turns out. Alright, so I just wanted to add a little addition to the last clip. I've got my paint all stirred up, and not sure if you're really able to see this depending on the camera resolution and how good the picture is, but this is the dark gray, and once I got it stirred up, it definitely looks like gray. It's definitely not black. And so I got my end table piece here, which I have lightly sanded and wiped off with a tack cloth. And I got the technique off of one of these furniture refinishing websites where she just takes a brush, and I've got two different brushes, and essentially just slathers the paint onto the piece that she is refinishing, and uses a roller. She calls it the one-step painting technique. So I've got multiple steps in mine. I have sanded and primed and light sanded the primer, so I've got a nice smooth finish. So hopefully this one-step painting technique will work really well with multiple steps of painting technique. Oh, look who I've got. Hey, Squeaky. Oh, poor baby Squeaky. She's grumpy granny. But she came down to supervise for a minute, but she's been really grumpy here lately. I've got to talk to the vet about her meds. We may be going off the steroids. I think that's what's been causing her behavioral issues, but she's still my baby. Anyway, so here we go with the paint. Okay, first coat, dark gray. That's some fingerprints I got to clean up. I just couldn't contain myself. I wanted to see how these drawers looked in terms of contrast between the two grays. I'm trying to decide, do I want to go with a gray, about basically the same shade you see right there, which is going to be a tiny bit darker than the walls. Not a whole lot, but definitely darker. I do not want to do the same color as the walls. I want some more contrast. And I definitely got to do another coat on the end table here. Then we've got these trim pieces that I dropped one of that I'm going to do in the same dark gray that go right across the middle here, if I can get it right there. And I'm going to do that in the dark gray, so we'll have a little bit of breakup in the color of the actual end table and the drawers itself. And I think that's going to look pretty good. But I'm not a design expert for sure, but that's what I'm going with now. But so far, I really like the contrast of the two different grays. And again, that's just primer on the doors. It is not final paint, and this is certainly not final paint here on the shell of the end table here. But so far, I'm liking it. Wish me more luck.